Hey, today we're watching the TPS broadcast. This is my first broadcast ever. Welcome. This part is transparency and accountability. We want to have a live broadcast and reaction today. It's the first time that I know that I've seen one. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll be able to do one each and every Toronto Police Board meeting. Anyways, we're just waiting for the meeting to start. Normally the TPS board meetings start at 9 a.m. Up until recently, board meetings are usually hard to attend. They're usually during the work week, during work hours. Most people don't watch or get to see the Toronto Police Board meetings. This way they get to skirt a lot of public scrutiny and um, just pass through bills and gloss over details that the public should be informed of. So this broadcast is to make it aware to the greater public what's happening behind the curtains at these Toronto Police Board meetings, and get people interested in participating in their democracy and keeping police accountable. It's been a big issue in this city. It's been a big issue for my community. It's been a big issue for Black Lives Matters. And yeah, that's it. We're just waiting right now. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break. But just hold for 1 second. Thanks. Okay, this is the meeting schedule, and we're just going to take a look. Let's see what's on today's agenda. So here we have April 10th, 9 a.m. So they say you won't see anything till 1 because, well, up until recently, they've shut back the viewing of the morning minutes, and you're missing a lot of important information that you know should be made public. One, confirmation of minutes from the last meeting, items for consideration. We have senior uniform, promotions and rank title change, request for special funds, Toronto Crime Stoppers 27th Annual Chief of Police Dinner, request for funds, youth and policing luncheon and awards, request for funds. These guys are always requesting funds. Annual community events 2025, contract award for vehicle and towing storage as well as more money. Budget variance reports. Wow, a lot of money going around. Operating budget for Toronto, for the Toronto Public Service period ending December 31st. So these are just variances. Capital budget variance number 2, or sorry, 7.2, 7.3, operating budget 2024 from Toronto Police Parking Enforcement, operating budget again for Service Board, semi-annual report, Toronto Police Service Board, special fund, unaudited statement, annual report, parking enforcement unit, parking violation notice issuances, write-off of collectible accounts receivable. Wow, that's something that the public might want to know and scrutinize a bit, but you'll never get to see it unless you're at the board meeting. Annual report 2024, Toronto Police Services consulting expenditures. More consulting expenditures. Annual report, use of Toronto Police image, use of Toronto board image, amendment to bylaws, appointment committee. That's interesting. I think someone might, curious about that. Annual report, activities and expenditures of community consultative groups. Wow. Okay. Suspended police officers. Wow, that might be something the public might want to know too. Investigative reports. Oh, here we go. Number 16, Chief's Administrative Investigation Reports. RE, Chief's Administration Investigation into Alleged Sexual Assault of Complainant 2024.41. Wow. 16.2, Chief's Administration Vehicle Injury of Complainant. Administration investigation. In custody injury of complainant. Investigation of vehicle injury of complainant. Investigation into custody injury of complainant. Investigation into vehicle injury of complainant. Wow, people are getting run over and beat up by the cops a whole lot. It's not really something to laugh about, but at this point, when they're hiding it all morning at their meetings, it doesn't serve the public much merit to have these meetings, except for their own to pat themselves on the back. So number 17, memorandum of settlement with senior officer organization. Wow. Special constable appointments and reappointments. Motion that the Toronto Police Service Board move to in camera before attending any held public items to discuss the following subject matters in accordance with section 442, the community, safety and policing, investigative matters, operational needs, and labor relations matters. Okay. So public meeting minutes of the previous meeting. All right, I don't know. Let's see what's happening with this so-called board meeting here. Okay, we're still waiting, folks. You know, it doesn't make it much fun when you have to wait all day to speak for, well, what used to be 5 minutes. They've been trying to whittle it down to 3 minutes. It's really hard to get what you need to say and convey to the police board in 3 minutes. Any kind of comprehensive statements or rebuttals or bring forth any evidence or whatnot. So yeah, they're not really, it doesn't seem like the police board is very conducive to public scrutiny, but either the police or the whole police department and police force of Canada as a whole, you know, they keep claiming accountability, but it's yet to be seen. So, at least in the black community. So apparently, you have to wait for police accountability. It's sad, but this is where we are. Uh, Black Lives Matter. I don't know more. They weren't protesting for nothing. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. The bubble zones uh, against protesters, people, voicing their public opinion. Um, there's been we're using apparently AI and video capture and image capture to uh, well, I've been finding mostly at the Palestinian protests, um, capturing people's images. They have the black truck with the camera on top, and but commonly they say when they're at the Israeli protests, they're walking with Israel. So I don't know. Seems to be a bit of a disparity in well, a lot of people think in the disbursement of justice in this city. So, and in case you didn't know, this is the Toronto Police Board meeting, City of Toronto, 2025, and we're still waiting. You have to be patient. Anyways, hopefully next time I'm going to have more resources. Oh, by the way, actually, there was something we wanted to take a look at. I think. Uh, well, anyways, I'll just tell you verbally that yesterday the police announced that there was an arrest for a weapon assault. Oh, I believe the meeting's starting soon. At one of the Palestinian protests on March 21st, I believe. And there was an attack with a weapon. That person has been arrested. The information is up on the police website. Yeah, that's it. So it looks like they're going to be starting shortly. So. For the public half. I've heard the Toronto Police Board meeting just described as the dog and pony show. I don't know. I like to call it lip service. You know, like putting lipstick on a pig. I would say no pun intended, but you know. We're having a couple laughs there. Ha ha ha. Morning must have been good. Nobody, no deputations against their, the assault investigations. People aren't allowed to speak up on those issues. It's become very muted for the public, for any public discourse. In fact, last year, one of the deputants had been arrested for, I guess, not speaking, you know, or he was removed, arrested for not speaking on the topic that they wanted him to speak on. Yeah, it's just very authoritarian and dystopian. I guess that's probably one of the reasons why I don't go personally. I don't know. As a black man, I can't see it faring any better for me than it would have for the person who got arrested. So, in fact, I'm sure it would have been worse. The police always overcharge black men. So I've already been investigated by the police. 9 months. Um, Anyways, looks like the board meeting's starting. So.
Correspondence to the board office. And I'm going to take this opportunity to answer them in some prepared speaking notes, because I think it's important that we be able to convey
One sec while we get the
what's
feet up.
transpired since then. I want to begin the meeting by acknowledging the deep concern and the hurt that many community members expressed to us in writing regarding the recent episode of the podcast under Project Olive Branch. These comments know that, and I want you to know that your voices have been heard, not just by myself, but by the board. We've taken these concerns seriously, and your feedback is invaluable. This comes at a time when our city has seen a troubling rise in anti-Semitism. Jewish Torontonians have faced hateful incidents in their schools, in their workplaces, and places of worship, and that have left them understandably on edge. These are unacceptable acts that threaten the sense of safety and inclusion that we all deserve, and we must remain firm in our commitment to combating anti-Semitism in all of its forms. As the civilian oversight body for the Toronto Police Service, our role is to ensure that policing in Toronto reflects the values of our communities and operates with accountability. However, I want to clarify why this matter is not on today's public agenda. This issue involves identifiable individuals, privacy legislation, and the tenets of the Community Safety and Policing Act 2019. And those rules prevent us from addressing matters of HR and labor relations in public. So it won't be addressed in this public forum. But that said, I do want to reassure members of the public that the concerns raised, both by the public and those
Okay.
directly impacted
Sorry about that, folks.
In response to the events. No one, especially those serving our city, should be subjected to hate and harassment based on their faith and faith alone. Islamophobia, like anti-Semitism, has no place in Toronto, and we must all be vigilant. This is an ongoing conversation. It must be an ongoing conversation. And so we remain committed to listening and responding as I'm doing now. And I thank you for making your voices heard. It really does inform the board in their considerations. And I want to encourage your continued engagement with the board. And at that time, I want to turn this over to the chief so that before we begin the numbered items, the chief can make his comments when making his monthly update. Chief Deputy.
Chair, thank you for introducing and addressing the issue of social media communications, something we have been diligently reviewing over the past few weeks. Approximately 15 years ago, in the interest of increasing engagement with our communities, Toronto Police Service members who successfully completed the social media training and who are approved by their unit commander were then authorized to use personal accounts as part of their duties. We have leveraged social media for various initiatives and investigations across the service, including Project Olive Branch, a podcast that was created as part of a broader outreach effort to continue building relationships with Muslim communities, especially youth. However, we recognize that the March 10th episode of this podcast caused significant upset and concern in our communities. On March 11th, we removed the episode, apologized, and suspended all Toronto Police Service podcasts pending the outcome of a review of the service's use of social media. Our professional standards unit referred its internal investigation of the podcast to the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency.
Wow.
Declined to take on the investigation as it had received public complaints about the podcast and those with precedents. I then requested York Regional Police Service to conduct an independent investigation. We have heard from many communities about the podcast being posted, as well as about the removal of the podcast. And I would like to reaffirm our commitment to engaging, respecting, and listening to all of the communities we serve. When I ordered a comprehensive review,
I don't know. Some communities are still here complaining.
I asked the
Chief.
review team to identify and address the risks associated with the use of social media for community engagement, crime prevention, and public safety, while ensuring that we have effective systems in place for supervision and accountability. The team assigned to this review will also recommend any necessary changes to governance, training, and supervision of social media usage. Thank you. I'll now pass it over
So they can form a team to fight anti-Semitism, but they can't do anything about racism or
Thank you,
missing
Chief.
Indigenous women.
Chair, at our last meeting in March, we shared year-to-date community safety indicators. Many of them showed decreases compared to 2024.
The only reason the
Today, we
police are
encouraged
doing
to see
anything
some of
is to
these
protect their
trends are still
reputation.
moving in the right direction.
That podcast
So
is public.
2025.
We all know.
Auto thefts, break-and enters, shootings,
police don't
and
care.
intimate partner violence. Auto thefts have decreased by and fewer home invasions compared to the
Wow.
same time last year. However, we remain vigilant as we see that carjackings are still up. There have been 3 more carjackings this year so far compared to the same time in 2024, for a total of 92 this year. Gun violence, 7. This is 7 fewer than last year. Firearm discharges are down 49% for a total of 40, which is 38 fewer than last year. And persons killed by firearms are down 60% for a total of 4, which is 6 fewer than last year. This year so far, we have made nearly 2. And as of this Monday, we have seized 157 crime guns. Chair, when we all met a month ago, we also discussed improvements in our call response time, improvements that have accumulated over many months. Last year at this time, we had
Oh God.
18.3 minutes. But now, year to date, we are down to 12.4 minutes. Last month in March, we had minutes in priority 1 calls. We will continue to do everything we can to maintain these averages and improve further through the strategic deployment of new recruits based on call demand and the management of resources across the city. So thank you. I'll now pass this on to Staff Superintendent.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. The release of the report for the independence investigations by the Honorable Gloria J. Epstein. As you know, the Missing and Missed implementation team has co-designed, co-developed, and co-delivered business processes that have now become the gold standard for how we engage with our communities. By considering the unique perspectives and lived experiences of community members and including them in the implementation, we are better able to deliver policing services that our communities need and deserve. Of the 151 recommendations, 89 have now been implemented, 61
When's
are in
the
progress,
Toronto Police
and
pick?
2 have not yet started as they are dependent on the completion of other recommendations. I would now like to play a video of last week's MMIT meeting for you.
4 years ago, we started this process with 151 recommendations. Today, as we saw, 89 are implemented. This is tangible, meaningful progress.
We recognize that it's a commitment to accountability, to systemic change. Is most affected.
Community. Every aspect of this the implementation, evolution of the work has been built upon the principles of inclusivity and true expertise.
Most meaningful and the most rewarding part of this work has been the relationships that have been formed with community members in the diverse communities that we serve, but also with the Toronto Police Service members as well. And so that really fostered an environment of learning, of growing, and actually getting on the same path towards making the systems change that we need to make.
Young leadership within the service is the dedication of our community representatives. Your dedication is not only and missed recommendations, but it all fundamentally communities. I know that this
What's going on?
changed the culture in this organization. Who are in the field were completely different.
Now, sure is taking long. You know how annoying I was in trying to type the timeline, and I realized it's better to do it right.
I want to thank our community representatives and service members who have guided this work. I'm honored to work with this incredible group of people. Thank you, and I will now pass this back to the Chief.
Chair, you joined
Sorry,
us
folks,
2
I
weeks
don't know what
ago
happened
on
there.
March 26th when the service presented the service awards to some of our outstanding members. Some of them arrested suspects in difficult situations, including armed suspects. They saved lives, worked on prevention, and cracked cases. They used data to make our operations more efficient, improved our workplace, and strengthened our relationships with various communities.
Not the black
The
community.
recipients went above and beyond, and they represent the very best of our organization.
I reached out to the black liaison a few weeks ago. I'm still waiting an email.
All our members for the incredible work they do each and every day safeguarding our great city. I also want to highlight the 24 brave and extraordinary individuals who received Community Member Awards 2 Sundays ago for their courage and compassion. Staff Superintendent Shannon Dawson presented these awards to people who have helped apprehend suspects, solve crimes, and in some cases, save lives.
Wow.
These community heroes demonstrate that safety is a shared responsibility, and with the hard work of our members, it's one of the reasons why Toronto was ranked the 3rd safest city in the world for tourists by Forbes last summer. As Deputy Chief Poe shared earlier, so far in 2025, many of the community safety indicators are going in the right direction. In addition to the call response times, auto thefts are down, robberies are down, shootings are down. So Mr. Langenfeld, you're want to
It's interesting that
Sorry, folks. I'm gonna have to remake this video.
for suddenly stopped. Meanwhile, you have to say back. That councils that you said my knowledge,
some
an intent. Now,
no,
law has that
the way that
councils and naturally the information is presented, but
the discussions
happening with
in town hall
where there is no record